Hey guys, it's Otty again. I'm here in an online talk with the band Tiny Magnetic Pets. Hi, first of all.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Tiny Magnetic Pets, you're from Ireland, right?
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
doing some dark wave music style, you can say. So this is rather easy. But for the people outside who have never heard of you, maybe can you tell your names and your part in the band?
Okay, I'm Paula, I'm the singer, and this is Eugene.
Yeah, I'm Eugene and I play drums.
And I'm Seán. I play synths and the odd bit of guitar
I'm the odd backing vocals.
and the odd backing vocal.
And how would you describe your band to someone who meet at a bar, maybe?
It's always hard describing your own kind of music because it kind of comes from within and you're kind of used to it, and it's almost like a no-brainer. To us anyway, we know what we are. I'd say there's definitely a kind of darkness to it. To be, I think to be kind of like simple about the thing, anybody who's into like Depeche Mode, OMD, that kind of electronic stuff.
Yeah, it's synthesizers and
Yeah.
fully electronics.
There's not very many happy songs, but the songs are very melodic,
Yeah.
but with
Yeah.
dark
Darker kind of-
dark lyrics
Yeah.
content, but they are uplifting and very melodic. We do like melody a lot. We're big fan of melody in our songs, as you'll hear, rather than kind of straight. There's a lot of melodies.
Yeah. Uplifting darkness.
Uplifting darkness.
On the album.
This is great.
Uplifting darkness. There you go.
I like this. I'll copy this for a t-shirt. Uplifting darkness, yes. But yeah, I know what you mean. For sure, I've done interviews with some bands, for example, you toured with. We'll come to this later. But let's start at the beginning, and maybe you can tell me, how did your story start? How did you meet each other? How did the Tiny Magnetic Pets come alive?
Well, myself and Paula initially kind of formed a band, which I kind of refer to as proto-TMP, and it was kind of a lot of technology with guitars and stuff. To be honest with you, it sounded probably closer to bands like Garbage. But during one of the sessions, we stripped everything out of the song except for Paula's voice and a piano. And there's something in the piano part. It reminded me of the piano bit in Comet and Melody 1 on Kraftwerk's Autobahn album. And we're kind of really into that stuff. And it was just a kind of wow moment. Okay, forget the guitars, forget the basses. Let's just start doing this. So we changed the name and we did the first album, and we were very kind of Stalinist about it.
Yeah, we set ourselves a deadline.
A
We didn't
deadline.
keep going over stuff. We're like, put it down. We limited ourselves a lot.
Yeah.
With it was like one take,
Yeah.
live synths and stuff.
And no technology or instruments that wouldn't have been available in 1975.
But it just flowed. I mean, it was fantastic fun. We were
Yeah,
really happy
it
with
was.
it. It was,
Yeah.
it's a whole different kind of I was singing kind of slightly lighter. It's different. Yeah, it's very experimental, but for us, and it's very different to what was going on in this country.
Yeah.
We loved it.
It was great. And then we were doing
The baby, DMP.
The baby of TNT.
we were doing a live show and with Eugene's band at the time, and we asked him to jump in on drums on a track that he'd never heard before, which turned out to be Semaphore, which
which is basically a 10-minute track, and I didn't hear it before, and we just played it. It went great, and
Actually, top secret, it was always a plan. I was planning to steal Eugene from that band. It worked. You have to watch me.
watch your
Always up to mischief.
always an agenda.
That's lead singers for you.
But that's and then we did the first album. Well, we kind of counted as the first album, Deluxe Debris. We did it on Happy Robots Records in the UK. And the next thing we knew, we landed the OMD tour. We'd met Andy in Dusseldorf.
in 2015, was it?
Yeah, but before that, what actually happened was Rusty Egan from Visage, our manager in this, sent him the album, I think,
No, it was the
it was
EP.
one track.
It was the EP.
Oh, it was EP, yeah.
Yeah.
But he did a mashup with our track "Control Me," with the Human League's "Seconds," and we put it out as a track. And then Rusty kind of got involved, and then everything changed. And then when Andy from OMD got involved, everything went bigger. So that was brilliant. And we were kind of going great guns. Got our third album ready for release, and then another 3 tours. And COVID.
Like everybody else, COVID hit, you know.
Yeah,
It changed a lot for bands and the
It
music
sure is,
industry.
yeah. But we noticed that the music was getting progressively darker. And so that was kind of interesting. What was happening initially was, if a song like this is, a lot of this is on me, because there's one track in particular I nixed off Deluxe Debris because I thought it was too bleak, too dark, too depressing. And it's great, but I just thought this is going to depress everybody. But then we ended up, I think post-COVID, we just went, well, you know, there's depressing and there's depressing. So is it just go with it?
Sorry, what was
Doesn't
the
matter.
question you asked us again?
I
It's
know.
quite a style
So-
of band.
Tend to
How hard
ramble.
we meet.
Yeah,
Yeah, we talk a lot.
yeah.
Sorry,
So
next
that's
question.
our, yeah.
It's better like this than me asking and who is saying one word and then, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I like it like this.
We
But
can
let's
do
keep
that as well.
Rusty Egan, for example. Do you still work with him? I met him at a festival several years ago where he was DJing, and I think he's still a legend nowadays. So
Oh, yes.
Rusty?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice, busy.
Paula's guesting on his next album.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's written by David Brooks and Rusty Egan, so I'm just singing, lending my vocals to the
Yeah.
album.
Rusty's great. No, he's,
you're doing lots of guest vocals on concerts and stuff I've seen. Like this?
Yeah, I was just playing at one of our biggest festivals on the weekend. I was doing the dance tent, so we were closing the dance tent, so it was pretty epic. I was just doing 3 songs, but it was like thousands, and it was really good fun. Yeah.
And I think these things are all good for developing your own band, having more connections, having more options to play, for example. Was it like that?
Of course, yeah. Every opportunity is a good opportunity. And, you know, doing festivals like that where it's predominantly dance, you're talking about remixes as well, remix possibilities and endless possibilities,
Like
really.
we know,
And connections.
yeah, we know all the people in this scene, so it's not like we're going off doing a rock thing or a completely different genre. It's very connected. And that scene, like we have a lot of dance DJs in Ireland that would support us and play our remixes and our music on the radio. So it definitely crosses. It's not like I said we're going off and doing some completely country or other genre. It's genres. We only do things that we love to do, that we want to do. So yeah, we know a lot of the people that we're working with, which is great.
Yeah, so we could do the guitar, bass, and drum things very easily, you know, because we all kind of play them, but it just doesn't interest us.
It's that kind of thing is not on our blood as well, because we all grew up on synthesizers and listened to from Kraftwerk, Depeche Mode, you name it, that kind of Goldfrapp, you name it, you know. So it's in our blood.
I wouldn't buy a record that didn't have synthesizers in it. Even rock records, for me, you have to have. That's why I kind of like the Cure and Sisters of Mercy and things like that. They also have Ultravox. They also have synths in there.
We were so lucky to tour with Major, because every night watching him perform was just like, God, we got to see. It's fantastic when you tour with somebody that you actually really, really are inspired. I love their music, because every night is just like, oh my God, you first of all, you get to perform in front of all their audience, and then you go out into the audience, and it's just like, God, you're just watching them again and again and again. That's incredible when that happens. And OMD and Major were just phenomenal to tour with. It's just fantastic. 10 out of 10, aren't they?
Yeah, but hearing the Vienna album live every night was amazing. It's like one of our favorite albums of all time.
Also, we were lucky to do play Germany a back-to-back tour with Orchestral Maneuvers and Mage.
Yeah.
That was 2019.
Yeah, we did the Irish shows, and then we jumped straight on to did a couple of UK shows, and straight onto with Midge, and we straight onto the OMD tour. When we did the OMD tour finished in Dusseldorf, and then we jumped the next night
So we're actually
program with
looping
Midge, so
around
we're
Germany. We played
yeah.
everywhere twice, which is we're like, oh my
Yeah.
God, we're in Berlin again. And it was
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
It was-
yeah.
it was- and some of the people, the fans obviously were the same. They're kind of like, did we just see you like 5 nights ago with OMD? So it was great introduction into Germany, being able to play like this second loop
Yeah.
around as well with fantastic artists. So we've been very, very lucky.
I
We've
was wondering,
all played in Germany.
it might be that I have seen you with Mitch. Have you played with him after COVID, post-COVID in Germany?
It was just COVID. It was started in the March and we finished the UK
Yeah.
tour in February. It would have
It
just been,
Because
Yeah, it was 2019.
Yeah.
yeah.
we were in the tour bus in Germany before Christmas, and I was looking on my phone,
We
and I
were
saw
sleeping. So
there was there's some virus in China or whatever, and I didn't think because you heard some bird flu and all that sort of stuff in China, and you kind of just go, oh right, that's you don't think it's going to come along on your doorstep. So 2020 we started off really well. We did the UK tour with Midge, and we had a lot of German stuff lined up all ready to go. We had an album lined up ready to go, and then everything was kind of happening, and it just
Yeah.
when we ended up, we shelved the album, and during COVID, for something to do, we wrote, which I think is our best album, Blue Wave.
So far.
We got that out. Well, yeah, so the best ones. The new one is kind of.
Yeah, it's important because one reason we are talking is there's an album coming. We'll come to this after the EP. But this COVID thing, so you released the album 2021, I think?
Yes, 2021, yeah. Blue Wave.
But you couldn't tour or not that much. So
No.
We did speak out and do a video.
Yeah, we did.
In the morning, because we weren't allowed.
We broke the quarantine and did a video in the park. The good thing was there was no one else around, so it was kind of we
You
weren't
want to
hurting.
check that out? It's Blitz,
Yeah.
was it? Blitz,
Blitz, yeah.
yeah, Blitz.
Yeah,
on our
so
YouTube
that
channel.
it was kind of weird. It was like some zombie apocalypse film. You're in, and that's
Like,
why
run.
we wrote the song on Blue Wave, City Sleeps Tonight. And it's just about this kind of isolation, and you're looking at empty streets, and it just looks like it's some post-apocalyptic thing, which is cool. So basically, the whole album is about, in one way or another, about COVID. So that was interesting.
I know this feeling because when I look out of my window, there's a big center with a casino and stuff, and there's almost all around the time, even at night, there are some people running around, coming out of the casino, crying because of their money they lost and stuff like this. But there always are people, and during COVID, it was like looking out, and for hours, nothing, maybe one car passing by, and then it was quiet. It was really,
Weird.
it was a hard time, but I think it was inspiring for, as you mentioned, for music and stuff. You could do some post-apocalyptic vibes into the music.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because most of the things on the album, they all kind of, even kind of tangentially, very abstractly relate to COVID. The song Broken Record, the lyrics on that are just made up from snatches of being stuck at home with nothing to do except watching YouTube videos and TV. And the lyrics are virtually made up of snippets from TV and films and things. So that was an interesting kind of exercise, and yeah, it worked really well. But yeah,
We're lucky in that we all have our own studios, so we're able to send each
that
other
was handy.
bits and files and add things and record all our own bits in our own studios and send them to each other, and that's just so lucky that we could do that.
Yeah.
You know,
And we definitely do not have a shortage of ideas. Folders upon folders, to be honest.
And Eugene got COVID first.
I never got it.
Then I got it.
I never got it.
Then our manager got it. So
I never got it. At least I don't know. When I tested, I was always negative.
Yeah, not many didn't get it. Neither did I. Lucky, anyway.
I tested positive 5 hours before my flight to Weimar for my 2-week holiday.
Oh.
I know, so like
That's
2
hard.
weeks on the sofa, me and the dog.
Great. And now maybe let's come to the present. So after this album, you probably did some tours and shows and stuff like this, and you also wrote new material. And a few weeks ago you released a new EP, Harmonious Grey.
Yeah.
So this was not influenced by COVID, probably. It was more like what
no.
nowadays. When and under which circumstances did you write these songs?
They were, well, we had done a UK tour with VNV Nation. It was like another Irish kind of dark wave artist.
I know him very well.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And it's one of those things where you come off tour and you have a bit of a loose end. And we decided that we would kind of, for the first time, work with an outside producer. So we were thinking, there was only one person, and Paula suggested Gareth Jones, and he was like the only person that you could have done the job. So we sent him some demos, and he loved them. So we started working on the album.
We met him then at we were over to Vince Clark.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Vince.
We met him
Sunroof,
then.
yeah.
We met him there at the Vince show because we were over because Vince had remixed our automation single from Blue Wave. And it was a great night, and we met Gareth, and he was up for doing the album, so we got half of it done. And it's sounding, I mean, really, really happy with it. It's sounding great. It's quite dark and a bit sparser than what we normally go, but it is sounding mighty. It has made a difference in the sound. Yes, it's huge sounding as well. So we're not rushing the second half of it. We want to get it all finished, but we wanted to put something out because we normally write a double album's worth of material and condense it into a single album. And we only use the kind of double album worth of tracks that we think are really great. No kind of, I'm not sure about that. If we're not sure about it, we don't.
We're not rushing. We're
we
actually
don't
enjoying the
entertain it.
process on this one. I've had a few other festivals. We've won now in 3 weeks as well. So we've been busy. So rather than rush it, we're enjoying it actually, and we're so lucky to be working with them. So, it's nearly done, but I mean, there's a bit more to do on it.
But we took some tracks that we kind of written kind of subsequently, and we decided that we would. I mean, our publisher Daryl Belmonte, he suggested we do a single. We thought, well, we've got all these extra tracks, we might as well do an EP. And that's how it came about. It was kind of like the album's not finished yet, but here's the EP, and none
It's
of the
kind of
tracks.
it's kind of like a taster of what's to come.
You know, when people let off steam, we kind of just need to let out tracks. There's so many.
Everybody writes in this band, so there's like literally tons of material. And Paula has tried a couple of times to put a moratorium on songwriting. It doesn't work. Just stop writing. We should stop writing.
It's a great thing.
It's a great problem to have.
Yeah, we're lucky.
But when you're looking at something like 30 ideas for like an album, and you just go on.
But you know what? There's never when we're writing, there's never disagreement or something. It's the strange. I mean, it's fantastic. Like, we're all so close, and it's amazing because when we're writing something, it's just like it's for the good of the band, it's for the good of the song. There's no egos on things, really, just my own little bit, but no, generally there's not. It's really it really works. So
it's really weird is what it is. I mean, it doesn't function like any band I've ever been in before. It's kind of really strange. And when we're kind of telling people, trying to explain to them how it works, it doesn't work like any other band that I know of. I mean, we kind of write, the way we write stuff is just, it's just odd.
But I guess there's certain skills, like you'd be good shaping up, like there's things where kind of roles we're falling into, I guess.
The arrangement
comes in with lovely kind of ideas initially, and then I'll add, Seán might do a rough vocal, then I'll change it a bit. It's so, we do probably have little roles without realising it.
Yeah, people do. Yeah, you find it.
It all kind of tends to go back then to you, maybe to finish it. And you might add something again. So it often comes, you send an idea. It's there are kind of roles, even though we don't probably realise it.
I do the overview and let everybody else worry about the details.
And you send it to me, I get demo artists.
But it's
Really enjoyable. It's really, really, really
Yeah.
enjoyable.
It is fun. Even the depressing stuff is fun.
Yes. I know what you mean. I think I'm in the Gothic scene most of the time, and you have to have fun there. It's
Yeah.
not like the cliche being said all the time. It's just having fun, having party, going dancing, have a
Yeah.
good time.
Yeah.
Because if you've ever had to drag yourself into a studio to do a record with people that you've got nothing in common with, it's pretty depressing.
Sure. I know my girlfriend, for example, she always tells me the story. For me, VNV Nation is some kind of happy music. Ronan and his music. It is dark, but it's uplifting, happy. And she played it to some workmates in the past, and they said, "Okay, do you want to commit suicide or what's happening?"
Yeah.
So it's just how you grow up and how you are grown into music. It's like how you realize it. Let's say
People
that.
used to say that about the Smiths.
Yeah.
With Morrissey's lyrics, and then you have the melody, Johnny Marr's guitars and all happy guitars, and you know, Andy Rook's bass line and all that. But
Do you know, it's emotion.
yeah,
That's what it is.
and people take that on board. So
I don't know how anybody
you know.
couldn't see the humor in Morrissey's lyrics. I mean, that always amazed me that nobody could see the humor in that. But I mean, I was listening to some brand new Thursday afternoon ambient piece the other day, and somebody said to me, "This is really depressing music." What?
I know.
Yeah.
Look, it's what each person interprets, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's felt a little weird. Brand new, depressing.
Great, but let's get back to the current stuff. So, how did working with Gareth Jones change your way of working? Because you told me how you normally as a band work, and did you change something, or is it just some input from outside?
Well, we had a lot done going over, so it wasn't like we were sitting in writing from scratch. So Tiny Magnetic Pets had written the bulk of the stuff, and then it was more his experience and him adding some of his sounds and his technique and his skill. Definitely made for me, I think it definitely made the sound bigger. It slowed down a bit as well. Lower kind of a vibe to it.
We gave him the
More
tracks.
serious and grown up, as somebody described them.
Yeah. We gave him the tracks and just said, do whatever you want with them. I mean, it's just, I think the brief was kill the pop band. Paula hates that.
I think you're getting about 2 ways.
No, but no. See, we whenever we started the first, one of the things that we found was there's a certain inadvertent, there's these racist algorithms online where, because we're Irish, like Spotify, whenever we went on Spotify first, it said, "Do you like this? You'll probably like Daniel O'Donnell, who's a country western singer, Irish." Who was it?
Oh, there was loads.
There's just loads of
Like couldn't be
nothing like.
So different.
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of
Yeah, the only connecting thing was Irish.
Yeah, and so you have
It was laughable.
racist algorithms. It's just like, what's the word?
But
Yeah, what do you think Gareth brought to the tracks?
getting back to Gareth, really, the reason why we wanted to go with Gareth is because we like what he does, you know, and we like, he's been working with people that we love for years.
Yeah.
For example, tell something for the people outside, maybe.
Yeah, like, you know, Depeche Mode, for instance, you know, he did a fantastic remix of Telefiche, Airstrip.
Yeah.
And we just love that kind of vibe, and the way his work ethic is brilliant, but it's the little nuances what he does.
Fast as well,
you know.
He doesn't dwell on stuff. He's not too.
And you learn an awful lot when you're in the studio with him. You really do. You're like, I've learned God only knows a couple of things, and I kind of go, oh, go back to that. So it's little elements that he put, and they might only be ear candy, but they go very nice, you know. So things that you mightn't think of.
There's a lot of more things going on underneath. I would say that's probably.
Yeah, all these tiny details.
Like every time you listen, you keep hearing something else, and they're more like effects and things. Yeah, it's very interesting.
And even down to panning, and side chaining, and it's kind of like all kind of little bits and pieces that headphone mix you'd hear,
Yeah.
you know,
Can't wait to get the
and
second
so
half
yeah,
done.
that's why, you know,
Yeah.
things that we wouldn't have thought of.
And we love it. It's nice being another country doing that for us as well, you know,
Yeah.
and then. you know,
Also, we were in the legendary Strong Room Studios as well, which is kind of like, you know, there's Depeche Mode in there.
Yeah, a few nice.
I think Wire were in there as well. Yeah, he's worked with all these people we think just really cool. So it was good. And also kind of nice that he kind of was, you know, happy to work with us.
And we're going to be playing a show with them in Copenhagen
Yeah.
in October. So that's going to be really, really good
Yeah.
fun. So he'll be doing his
Yeah.
thing, we'll be doing ours. So it'll be really nice.
I've seen
Yeah,
it.
looking forward to that.
But this is a single show. It's not like a tour or something. Or
No,
is
one thing-
maybe more?
No, we just want to get the album finished before we start kind of sorting out kind of tours and stuff.
We may end up
Yes.
doing the show in Germany. We'll see. I mean, certainly in Copenhagen is where we're doing the first one. So
And we're
see
doing
how-
London with Rusty
Yeah.
Rusty
as well.
Both in October.
Yeah.
And when you talk to him and work with him, is it also that you talk about what he experienced with other artists, how this influenced him or something, or is there no time for this?
He's very focused on the act he's working
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
And I guess it's not like you're not trying to be another act. So you're not saying, you know, what did you do on that? Can you compare? So he's
Yeah.
bringing his bits of expertise from different acts. He knows the style that we want and we're after. So no, I would say you don't discuss. He's pretty discreet and it's focused on your music and kind of basically get lost in your own music. There's a lot of listening and playback, so you don't have that much time to your own tracks.
Yeah. Plus, we were serious when we said, you know, we said do whatever you want with them. So we didn't really want. It's a kind of discipline we have as well. We can actually kind of, you know, like the last album Blue Wave, we just gave it to Charles Reeves to mix, and we just mix it, and that was it. You know, so that was kind of the idea of just kind of letting someone else kind of just take it and run with it, see what you do. We've done all this bit now. See what you come up with, and we're happy to kind of let someone do that, and we run with the end kind of result.
What we did actually with Blue Wave is we all had remember headphone mixes.
Oh, that was so
And
spicy.
we did it actually because we were all in lockdown.
Yes.
So we mixed basically in our own location. We were saying,
He
turn
was
this off,
in America.
turn this
So
up,
he was-
turn this
he was
down,
in London.
you know.
It was in London.
He was
It was in London.
Charles Chicky, as we call Chicky Reeves, he was in London, and he had Bluetoothed the mixes. I was in my studio and I could hear the mixes. Paula was on the beach somewhere.
Not so amazing, just walking down the beach, but you could literally go, could you nudge that up, and in real time, your vocal would be nudged
would,
up.
yeah.
It was pretty
That
incredible
was-
experience.
Yeah, it was. It was kind of weird. It was all done in real time, you know, between two countries. So that was
really good.
That was great.
That took a few days.
I don't think anybody else I know of has done that. That was
Really interesting.
really good.
Yeah.
I mean, the end result was great. We kind of
Really
loved it. Yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about the lyrics, the new lyrics. You told me on the old album it was like influenced by COVID, by sitting on TV and stuff. So how did this change, and what are the topics of the new material? Who writes it? Do you all write, or is it
The EP or the album?
the EP and the upcoming album?
Okay, well, the EP, the first track, Low Places, is just, I think we all kind of have people like that who are friends up until something goes wrong, or, you know, up until you need to borrow money. And then suddenly you find that they're not friends anymore, or they disappear, or, you know, we just also
Or
we have
something
friends.
you thought you could rely on.
Yeah,
And
but
it was never the case, you know.
yeah. And plus,
come to show, you know, that kind of.
False promises.
Yeah.
but as musicians, you know, we all have friends who aren't musicians or whatever, and they think, wow, you're going on tour for a month. How are you going to put up with all those hotels and all this? And they kind of think you're a bit nuts or whatever, or it's not normal or whatever. There's that kind of.
It's not that normal. It's just that thing, but not that.
Yeah, but it's not
I think it's
right or anything like that. It's not like we're chucking TVs out windows or anything like that. You know, it's like, you know, it's just that kind of. They think you're a bit weird. So yeah, it's just that sort of thing. That's kind of like low places. Autopilot, I think this one is kind of quite relatable to kind of most people, low places, autopilot. I mean, how many times you get up for work and you just going in and every day's the same and you're just doing stuff. You're kind of like putting your life kind of on
you're not even thinking, it's just going through the steps, going through the motions,
The title track's a bit more abstract. The title track is kind of started off as an imaginary conversation with Van Gogh, who said in a letter to someone that he was, can't remember who the other artist was, that he was fed up painting in grey harmony. Oh, that's nice. But then it just got, that was the kind of initial saying, then it just got abstract from there on in, and it kind of started getting darker as it went along. And that was a bit harder to explain because it is kind of largely abstract, but we kind of see it as a kind of, it's a bit tongue-in-cheek, the darkness in it. There's a bit of a humor. Irish people have a very black sense of humor, as it's called. So the kind of, and I know from whenever I was a teenager, whatever, the more bleak you could get, the kind of more humorous it was, if that kind of makes sense. So the Harmonious Grey thing, it's kind of see it as a kind of Smith's S kind of lyric, where it's quite tongue-in-cheek.
And the album will be in the same sense somehow, or
it's
the one? Can you tell me? I don't know.
Sonically, it's a bit darker. The album's is a bit darker, and lyrically, it's kind of a lot darker. It takes in things like there's a song called "The Modern World," and enough said about that. And there's another song called "More Than Your Prayers," which is that's
No time today.
So we can't. I don't want to kind of elaborate too much, but there's kind of again, it goes back to kind of people that I can't talk too much about it at the moment.
Friends,
We've all encountered people that who say more than their prayers. It's a kind of an Irish kind of expression, and so
good thing is for the EP, it's a perfect segue.
Yes,
to the album.
Between Blue Wave and the new album. It is kind of
And maybe when the album is coming to release or is released, we can dig a little bit deeper in this as well. And
perfect. We're not being cagey. It's just that we're talking about Harmonious Grey. You can go and listen to Harmonious Grey. You can go and listen to Blue Wave or Deluxe Debris, and you can hear exactly what we're talking about. You can reference it, but there's no reference points for the album yet until it's there and people can hear it. So when we're talking about it, it's just kind of like abstract, and it could create a false impression of what it's about, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, sure.
But it's we're really happy with it. We have played one of the songs live, French Cinema, which is a kind of a critique on modern French cinema. But it's quite fun to do live because I get to shout the whole way through, which is Paula sings, I yell over the top of her. So it's kind of that was good fun. That's great to play live.
Yes, it is.
It's a banger.
So people laughed it, and
it's gone down well.
Because everybody notices it, which is always a good way. When you're playing unreleased stuff and people come up to you after the show and ask you what that track was or what that song was, that's always a good sign. And
on the other side, people are filming it probably, and it's online before we have released it.
I mean,
you're a little bit careful
on this album because it went down so well live. And I'm always amazed at what people pick up on, because whenever we did the first tour with OMD, we put in a 10-minute song which doesn't have any chorus, and it's got a massive big breakdown in the middle, and it's got a big huge ending which is just instrumental. after every show, everybody came up to us and, what's that end song? What's that
What's
last?
the last track? What's the
Yeah,
last
what's
track?
that last track that you played?
Yeah, the first
Um,
show we were kind of like, okay, let's just do this.
Yeah,
see
this
what
is
happens.
10 minutes long. We're going to get things thrown at us.
It felt good to us,
yeah.
and thankfully it worked out.
Yeah,
You know, one of those happy accidents.
yeah.
Because people connect with it.
Yeah, they did, yeah, big time, which is kind of interesting. So you don't really
Yeah,
need choruses all the time,
Yeah.
you know. We do the catchy choruses, but yeah, we don't have to. Not all the time.
Great. And as you mentioned, the album is coming. You don't know when exactly, probably.
We want to get it. The first half of it's kind of done, and it sounds so absolutely great that we don't want to kind of rush.
Yeah,
We don't want
in
to.
progress.
Yeah, we don't want to rush the last 4 or 5 tracks. So yeah, we're just, hopefully this year, hopefully by the end of the year, we have it.
And what else are your plans for the next month? Like playing in Denmark for sure, but there are some festivals, I think. Is a video maybe coming and stuff like this?
We have a festival here in 3 weeks, and then we've a few other dates, and we have London, we have Copenhagen, and a few other things coming in. So we are kept busy. We'll have Rusty's release of his album as well, and then yeah, it's a few other things, and we have to get back to obviously to do the other half of this album. So that's going to take up a good chunk of our time as well.
Yeah,
which is great.
We're kind of in the studio as well, kind of finalizing a few, the last few bits and pieces, just, you know, kind of nailing that down.
but yeah,
And rehearsals.
and we're rehearsing for
Yeah.
the festival thing as well, which is because we're kind of doing slightly different versions of the songs rather than just
Yeah, a bit of fun.
yeah. I don't really like kind of recreating the album on stage. You can sit at home and listen to the album. I would rather do differently. You know, play around with it a bit. So yeah, we're playing one of the songs off the first album that we've never played live before. So that's gonna be good.
Lots of work to prepare it for sure.
Yes, yeah.
Always busy.
Yeah, there's always something happening. There's always something to do.
And you just don't know in this business, you know,
Yeah.
as well. You don't know. You can get a phone call, you know. I know when we got the OMD, we'd already toured with them in the UK, and then we got a message, would we like to join them in Germany? Like, it's a crazy business. There's just no rules. You just don't know. Somebody could come in tonight. It's it's really interesting like that, but you just don't know.
Yeah,
So,
you have to drop everything and go with it.
I know what you mean. I talked to a musician last weekend, rather not that big band, but they are somehow renowned here in Germany, and
Yeah,
he told me it's exactly, you can do exactly the same work, and sometimes you have nothing to do, no shows, nothing comes in, and then everyone wants something from you.
it's our,
Exactly.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
our business.
so
we
we
love it.
yeah.
Yeah. But we loved playing in Germany, so hopefully we'll be back there soon. It's fantastic.
Yes.
Really, really receptive audience.
One of the things we love about Germany is whenever we're in Düsseldorf, Wolfgang from Kraftwerk always comes along. He's on our second album. He did 2 tracks with us on the second album. He did Radio 1 and Never Alone.
Oh, yeah.
That was great. It's always great to see him.
Yeah, I'm rather close to Düsseldorf. I'm in Duisburg, and it's half an hour with car, for example, or with train.
Yeah.
And I'm often in Düsseldorf. I will be seeing Duran Duran, for example, next week there.
Amazing. I'll enjoy that.
Great. Yeah.
A good concert.
Looking forward to this and take some pictures.
Yeah.
I'm concert photographer as well, so
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Nice.
I've done Andy Bell last Monday.
Busy. You're out at loads of shows then as well.
And then if it's possible, I do interviews as well, but it wasn't possible with Andy. Sad thing, but
Did you get to see Depeche Mode?
no, Depeche Mode, I didn't ask for accreditation, but because I think for those I'm too small.
Okay. But you didn't get to see the concert, or did you get to see?
Never.
No.
Yeah, the problem is I'm not the biggest Depeche Mode fan. I like them, but I'm not the biggest Depeche Mode fan, so I don't want to pay the cost of the tickets nowadays.
Yeah.
My girlfriend, for example, she was invited to a Depeche Mode concert where a friend had a ticket, and she told me it was really, really bad because she was on the back of the arena. She didn't see much. It was like
Oh, yeah.
seeing Dave like this and stuff. It's not
Yeah.
big arenas, aren't they?
I think that's starting to happen more. You hear people, they're at the side and they're seeing the artist from the side. I think even in smaller venues as well.
Haven't got that problem yet.
That's it.
We have nice intimate gigs. Oh, that's fantastic. Excellent.
But I think so. Let me know when you're in Germany, when you have
Absolutely.
something
Yeah,
announced.
yeah,
Maybe
of course.
Düsseldorf area, Ruhr area, I can come over. For today, I think we have talked a lot, and it's cool for the people outside to watch. Do you have some message, some greetings to the people outside before we leave?
Yeah, just like hello from Dublin, hello from Ireland.
And we can't wait to
Yeah,
get back, and hopefully it'll be sooner than later.
Yeah, absolutely love playing over there.
Yes.
So
yeah, you know, in Germany, it's great.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that we're all kind of fans of kind of German music as well, which is, and that was a kind of a big buzz for us because the very first show we did was in Dusseldorf, and it was opening for Michael Rother or Michael
yeah, our
Rother.
very first
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
That was yeah, so that was like a massive
That was
buzz.
2015.
Yeah, it was
Well, to
yeah.
anyone out there, if you're curious, go check us out. Love to,
Yeah.
you know, maybe something will connect with you and you'll like our music. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah. So it's,
So thanks for the nice talk.
Thank you.
Thank you very
much.
Thank you very
so
much.
cheers.
People outside, thanks for watching. Tiny Magnetic Pets, great band from Ireland. Or check them out. New EP is really, really great, I can say. And I say bye-bye, cheers, see ya.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
Cheers.
bye.
Well,
Thank you.